Arman,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because this guy talk about rematch all his life.
I'm the best in this division.
I don't remember this. Maybe third time or fourth time UFC give him chance to fight with me, and he say no. I know after the UFC told me we give you opponent after UFC 300, but in my opinion, I know if Arman beat Oliveira, he never took this fight. Never take this fight.
Please tell these guys, let's go with your chicken.
I'm not sold on the idea he's getting a title shot. I don't know why. I feel he's the guy. And one thing that is tricky about becoming a number one contender, one thing that is tricky about building steam towards a fight is when it's for a title, it's not against an opponent. The only thing in our sport that trumps main event is title, and the only thing that trumps title is personal grudge.
All right, fight fans, let's talk about the burning question on everyone's mind. Is Arman Tsarukyan truly back and ready to fight Islam Makhachev for the title? The speaker here throws a bit of cold water on the immediate title shot idea, and he's not wrong about the UFC's booking philosophy. What truly sells a fight, even more than a main event, is a title, and above that, a personal grudge. Arman and Islam already have that history, that undisputed competitive fire. But is that enough to fast-track him past other contenders, or is there a bigger game being played behind the scenes to maximize this inevitable clash?
The best way to get a fight is to have a personal grudge. Oh, and by the way, also be the number one contender. Ranked number one. So, Arman can tell the story that I want to fight for the title. He can. And that'll get over. It's just a lot more effective if he can go right after Ilia Topuria. Now, the problem with going after Ilia Topuria is if Ilia doesn't win the title. That's the problem. Now, it can be fixed. I'm just sharing with you perfect world scenarios.
This is crucial. A personal grudge is the golden ticket in the UFC. Arman and Islam's first fight, that absolute war, built a foundation for that. Now, Arman's been doing his part, calling for the title shot, building his narrative. But the speaker introduces an interesting twist, aiming for Ilia Topuria. While that might seem like a sidestep from Islam, it's about strategically building his brand and leverage. If Ilia wins his next fight, a BMF or a higher profile clash could elevate Arman even further, making that Islam rematch an undeniable mega event, not just another title defense.
Something is resisting Arman. I think that we knew what it was, right? I mean, we can roll the tape back to the missed match against Islam. Great, put him in a purgatory. He's number one contender. He's going to fight Dan Hooker. Does fight Dan Hooker. Oh, there was a headbutt. So we understand this, but who else are you going to put him with? And if you're not booking him right now, and he's currently not booked, and his name is Red Hot, then that would tell me, if I got to guess, if I'm a guessing man, that would tell me that the opponent that you would like for Arman is already booked himself.
There's definitely something resisting Arman's immediate path to Islam, and the speaker nails it by bringing up their first fight. That purgatory he's been in, battling top contenders like Hooker and Dariush, proves his legitimacy. Now, with his name Red Hot, the fact that he's currently not booked points to a significant theory. His desired opponent is already tied up. For us, the fans, we immediately think Islam. Is the UFC simply waiting for Islam's next fight to be officially announced or concluded before they drop the bombshell that Arman is indeed next? It's a calculated delay that could hint at something huge.
That you can't make the Arman fight because his potential opponent is already booked, which means we're going to take our oars out of the water, we're going to let some dust settle, then we're going to make the announcement. That could be the title fight. You want to know a fun fight? Now, he would need a win at the White House to get it, but you want to know a fun fight? Michael Chandler. I'd watch Chandler versus Tsarukyan any way you want to do it. You want to do it in RAF, you want to do it in UFC BJJ, you want to do it in the Octagon. You want to know another fight for Tsarukyan?
This opponent is already booked theory makes perfect sense when you look at the landscape. The UFC often plays the long game, letting hype build and letting other matchups unfold before announcing a blockbuster. If Arman's next opponent is indeed Islam, then we might just be in a holding pattern until Islam's schedule clears or a major event concludes. The mention of Michael Chandler as a fun fight is intriguing. While not Islam, a dominant win over a big name like Chandler would add another massive notch to Arman's belt, solidifying his status as the undisputed #1 contender and making the call for Islam even louder.
Rufy. Now, Rufy's ranked, this is off the top of my head, but he's ranked like number 8. But that's where you gotta go. That's where you have to go. If you wanted to bring Charles in, great. And it would be fresh, so that's fun. We could all get behind that, and so would Charles. But are you going to put up the BMF? If you're not putting up the BMF, please don't do it. Whoever Charles fights next, there should be a lineage to that title. My request.
The speaker exploring other potential matchups like Jalen Turner, Rufy, or even Charles Oliveira highlights the depth of the lightweight division, but also the dilemma. While a fight against Du Bronx would be massive, the BMF title complicates things. Arman is not at the legend whose title days are over stage. He's in his prime, on an undisputed championship path directly to Islam Makhachev. Any fight not against Islam at this point needs to elevate him, not just fill a spot, and certainly not distract from the ultimate prize. The lineage of that BMF title needs to be respected, and Arman's focus is firmly on gold.
Now, another thought there is that Arman's already beat, right? You're not going to turn to Max, but Max is up there in the rankings. So who are you going to put him with? I have a very difficult time making sense of anybody as the roster sits right now, aside from the winner of Gaethje versus Ilya. I have a very hard time, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. Not if you go back to my original hypothesis, which is the potential next opponent for Tsarukyan is currently booked.
It's genuinely difficult to find a suitable opponent for Arman right now, especially one that makes sense for his direct path to Islam. Max Holloway, while incredible, is more suited for featherweight now. The winner of Gaethje versus Ilya is an option, but the true prize is Islam. This difficulty reinforces the speaker's opponent-booked hypothesis. It suggests that the UFC knows exactly who they want Arman to fight, and it's the champ. They're just waiting for the stars to align, possibly for a specific event or to let another major lightweight clash play out before making that monumental announcement.
Because the landscape can change real fast when you do that, right? A guy can rise up overnight when you do that. And I don't know where Paddy's at on all this, by the way. Like, Paddy coming off a loss, does that mean he shouldn't fight the #1 ranked guy? A lot of times, yeah, that's exactly what it means. Paddy used to want to fight Arman, but Paddy's been very polite lately. A lot of guys, and I think Paddy falls into this category, coming off of a loss, just feel, and it's like just a personal code, but they do adhere to it. They just feel, I shouldn't call anyone out. I'm coming off a loss.
The landscape of the UFC can indeed change overnight, but Arman's stock has been consistently rising. The discussion about Paddy Pimblett is interesting, especially given their past heat. While Paddy coming off a loss usually means he wouldn't call out a #1 contender, the speaker's point about never stop talking is vital in this sport. If Paddy were to rekindle that rivalry and call out Arman, it would generate immense buzz. Even if it doesn't lead to a fight, it keeps Arman's name in the conversation, fueling the public demand for his inevitable clash with Islam.
I need to sit here like everybody else that's got to climb their way back up. I disagree with that. Never stop talking. Be the boss, even after a loss. And I don't know that that's what Paddy's doing, but I'm just sharing. Paddy and Tsarukyan did have some pretty good heat, and both of them, for the time being, have kind of let that go. So I got a really hard time booking him. There's matches that I'm interested in. Again, Rufy. There's matches I'm interested in with a win, Chandler. But I don't know that they're realistic. I don't know that you're going to pull your number one guy down to 6, 7, 8.
I wholeheartedly agree with the speaker's sentiment. In this game, you never stop talking, even after a loss. It's about maintaining relevance and driving narratives. Paddy and Arman's beef had genuine heat, and it's a shame that it's cooled. For Arman, the challenge isn't just finding an opponent, but finding one that matches his current trajectory towards Islam. Pulling your number one contender down to fight someone ranked 6, 7, or 8 just doesn't make sense. It risks his momentum and delays the fight everyone truly wants to see, the rematch with Islam Makhachev for the undisputed lightweight title.